Hey, it's Russ here at the MPS 2012. I'm with my old friend Dave Hill. Nice to see you, Dave.
Yeah, it's very nice to be here, other than the rain, which I guess is a normal deal, but...
I think every interview we do starts with the weather.
Yeah, well, I'm afraid it's London, isn't it? Well, it's actually better than home, because at home, it's like not above freezing now, so it's really actually a lot better here, if you can believe that.
So we have a new baby.
Yes, we have a new device. It's
Tell us about it.
500 series compressor with a vacuum tube in it. And it's designed to be a very vintagey kind of sound with some tricks, of course. There's a switch that will allow you to change whether the negative feedback on the tube amplifier, so you can have a very woolly, wild sound, or you can have a little bit cleaner kind of sound out of it. It also has a hard knee, soft knee switch on it to, make it act more as a limiter as opposed to a compressor, and then a wet-dry control. And it uses a 12AX7 tube in it. It's about 100 milliamps in a 500 series slot, so it's, well within the range of being acceptable, and should be shipping late January is what it looks like.
And you could tie them together as well.
Yes, and when they link, instead of using the traditional 500 series link, you have to put them in as pairs, and there's a cable that goes between them. And the result is it works more as a master-slave. The wet, dry, and makeup gain controls remain separate, but then you have a single threshold control and a single set of controls for attack and release, and that way you don't get all these problems of stereo linking not imaging very well, so this way they're going to track very well as far as imaging goes. And the link system's such that you could actually do a 5.1 with it if you wanted to.
Nice. What were you thinking of when you came up with this baby? Is there a gap you thought was in the market, or were you thinking, this is a little pet project I want to do?
Well, it's a little bit of both, and there's so much 500 stuff that needs to be better than it is. So I figured, well, it's time we start doing some really good stuff, and some of it was a little bit of I think I can do this. Let's see if I can actually make it work and fit a tube in a single slot and generate 200 volts and meet within the power requirements. And it uses a 12AX7, so it's a standard common tube that's being manufactured, not something that is no longer available. And what do you do in 3 or 4 years? Some of these parts, if they're $5 now and they're rare, all of a sudden they're $50, and that's not a good place to be. You got to use parts that are available.
So do you think this is the start of seeing a rack full of Dave Hill gear, Cranesong gear, in a 500 rack?
Well, there's 2 other things I'm thinking about, and they're all going to be with tubes.
Tubes?
With tubes.
Tube metronome?
It's like a vacuum tube computer, huh? Or a vacuum tube iPhone. Let's see. Here's your semi-trailer you got to drag around behind you to make it work. But there may be a preamp, and there will probably be an EQ. And then I'm going to do a fairly high-end bulletproof frame that, if you put a module in and it shorts out that slot, well, it doesn't affect the rest of them. So I'm going to do a real bulletproof frame that seems to be a real weakness that turns a lot of people off. And I hear just horrible tech support issues with frames not really being able to support what's being plugged in. And so I'm going to do a real bulletproof frame also.
Brilliant. I understand from our chat earlier, we're not going to know too much now from this conversation, but we should see some new stuff at NAMM as well.
A little bit of new stuff by NAMM.
Brilliant. How are you getting on with AAX as well? You've been doing some porting, haven't you?
It's been doing actually really well for us. The AAX thing's been great. We're part of this massive pack that they just did, and I have new things that are being worked on. It's just enough programming time to...
Sure.
If I could hire another programmer, I would, but...
Is that a job advert?
Yeah, well, I'm not quite ready to it yet. Yeah, but we did hire 2 people this year, so we're growing.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Dave, always a pleasure.
Yes.
Have a great show.
Yes, thanks.
Thanks, mate.